Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Raditz all decided to start training with Whis. And it's probably for the best, as they have a new threat arising. My name is Michael from Vegeta T23, and welcome to part 11 of What If Goku Agreed to Become the Earth's Guardian. Before we start, check out the previous parts to keep yourself updated on the series. With that, let's begin. Frieza is now alive and well, and he decided to train up. He wants to get rid of Saiyans as quickly as he possibly can so that he can finally take control of the cosmos. And so, he chooses his training buddy and starts training for the next several months. Meanwhile, with the Saiyans, the squad now knows what God Ki is and learned how to sense it, as well as how to control it and use it as their own. Goku already had a small chunk of it, since the Dragon Ki that he needed to keep the Dragon Balls afloat was also partly God Ki, so for him it was way easier to control it. Meanwhile, for the rest, it took a couple of more days. However, they managed to get a hold of God Ki. This was around the same time that Beerus woke up and saw the four Saiyans going at it with the training. Beerus was pretty pissed at Whis for letting the Saiyans train on his planet. However, he soon succumbed to it. And now, Beerus is commanding the training for the Saiyans. Beerus told Whis to seal the Saiyans in his staff, so that they could train in a completely new environment. And so, Whis complies, sealing them in his staff and letting them train until they can't anymore. And so, the four Saiyans are now in a pickle of how to control their powers in a setting where they cannot even exert their ki. Meanwhile, with Frieza has now finished his training and is going towards Earth. All of the events from now on go pretty much the same. Frieza comes to Earth, Bulma is scared shitless and tries to get over to Whis. Whis finally responds, and the Saiyans then go and respond to Frieza landing on Earth. Goku then instant transmissions all four of them to Earth, and now the fun begins. Considering that Gohan and Piccolo weren't there, with Gohan training with Whis and Piccolo not existing, Krillin and Tien take the place as the one who was killed and one who was brutally beaten up. Frieza, however, is still in his first form, as opposed to the final form. Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and Gohan play rock, paper, scissors as to who will go for Frieza first. And of course, Goku is first. So he steps up to Frieza and they start fighting. It all goes relatively the same. Goku and Frieza spar for a little bit and then they reveal the lengths of their power. Goku then gets shot from the back and Vegeta asks for Gohan to go give him some help. And Gohan does so. He gets into the battle with his Super Saiyan Blue and then continues the fight with Frieza. Gohan, however, has a lot more potential than his father and all three of the other Saiyans combined, so he has a little bit more of a chance at beating Frieza. Goku is then taken to healing while Vegeta handles the one who shot him from behind. Gohan is now realizing that Frieza's energy is skyrocketing all the way down, and that at some point Frieza will lose all of his power to maintain his golden form. So Gohan fights and fights until it happens, and then he purposely beats Frieza all the way to the ground to teach him a lesson. Frieza is dead, and this time he didn't have a chance to completely destroy the planet so that they can get it back 3 minutes behind. And with that, Frieza is defeated. Gohan was the one considered a victor, and Goku congratulated his son on the victory. A few months have passed, and Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, and Gohan are on Earth, as opposed to Beerus' planet. Raditz has to stay home and look after his child, while Gohan has also gotten a child and had to be there. Goku and Vegeta are just messing around and sparring with each other, so they're not really doing anything important. However, on Beerus' world, Beerus has a new visitor. His brother visited in to have a taste test of the new meal. Beerus sets up the food table and then they go to town munching on the eggs. The eggs are nothing special, and then Beerus introduces Champa to the ramen. Champa really likes it, and then he wants to take Earth for his own. So he decides to make a nice tournament. Beerus doesn't want it at first. However, Whis notifies him that the Saiyans would be very glad to fight. And so Beerus scheduled the appointment for the tournament. He goes over to Earth and tells Goku that the tournament is coming up. Goku and Vegeta are all up for it. However, Raditz and Gohan have better things to do. For example, being fathers, something that Goku and Vegeta cannot really do. And so, Goku and Vegeta are the only participants that can go. And so, they now have to choose the other 3 fighters. Beerus says that he already has a 3rd fighter, while the other 2 are still a mystery. And so, they try seeking for any good power levels around the universe, but they cannot find them. The only ones that can properly fight and have plenty of power are Goten and Trunks. So they just appoint them. It doesn't matter if they're kids or not. They have a lot of power, but they still have to be trained and taught. Beerus, however, dislikes the idea. However, Goku reassures him that it's probably for the best, as they will gain even more fighting experience. Beerus just says whatever and then goes seeking for the 5th person. Not long after, the tournament begins. They all go to the planet which Champa decided, and then they settle there. They manage to get comfortable, and then the tournament begins. The first to fight was Goku and Batamo, and that battle goes pretty much the same way as in canon. The Frost battle with Goku goes pretty much the same too. However, Piccolo vs Frost in the original doesn't happen, so Goten takes Piccolo's place. Goten is trying his best to defeat Frost and manages to do so. However, he gets poisoned as well and calls it out to the judge. The judge examines Frost and sees the needle on his wrist. So now, Frost did not only lose, he's completely disqualified from participating. Next up is Goten and Automagetta. Goten tries to think rationally, however, Magetta completely outcompetes Goten. So now, Goten is in a pickle. Magetta then eliminates Goten. So now, Vegeta gets into the fight. Vegeta, the very first thing that he says when coming into the ring is that he really doesn't want to fight this piece of hot garbage, which manages to emotionally hurt Magetta. So now, Vegeta got his trick and then eliminates Magetta. Next up is Vegeta and Kaba, and that goes pretty much the same way. And so does Vegeta vs Hit. So now, Goku gets into the fight, considering that Frost was cheating, so now Goku is back into battle. Goku's and Hit's fights also go relatively the same. However, not all is the same. Whis gets a contact from Bulma saying that the Dragon Balls are getting larger and larger and turning red. So Whis is now out of words, thinking what might possibly happen to the Dragon Balls. But then, Goku forfeits the battle, which infuriates both Beerus and Champa. Bulma then tells Whis that the Dragon Balls are now of normal shape and size, and that there is nothing to worry about. Whis is clearly confused as to what's going on, however links it to the fact that Goku used Kaioken in the battle, and that he's pretty much worn down. And from this point on, everything goes the same. Monaka fights Hit, Hit knocks himself out of respect for Goku, and then Universe 7 wins. Zeno comes around, starts berating the destroyers, and everything goes the same. They then all go home to have a massive feast right after the battle. Goten was congratulated for actually being useful this time, and Goten is now full of ego and decides to train as much as possible yet again, along with Trunks. After a bit of time, Raditz and Gohan pick up on training. They have gotten quite rusty, so they really need some training. Goku and Vegeta are basically the same since they train day in and day out, so everyone is training on Beerus' planet. However, everything will turn for the worst, as something crashes in the backyard of Bulma's house. Everyone gets out, and after a bit of examination, they notice that this is Future Trunks' time machine, so they get out and check inside. Future Trunks is really hurt in there, so they get him out and send him off to the side. The Saiyans are notified and they instant transmission to Earth to see what Future Trunks is doing here again. Goku gets a senzu bean and feeds Future Trunks one. Future Trunks gets up and sees Goku, then attacks him for no apparent reason. The reason behind the Future Trunks' attack is gonna be discussed in the next part. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment on what shall I do next. Like if you liked the video. Dislike if my videos take way too long. Check out my Discord server in the description below. And as always, peace out.